viewers, and welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. The President of the Republic takes part in an extraordinary summit of IGAD and by video conference. Capacity of building in monitoring and evaluating for effective decentralization. And on the international scene, 10,000 Israeli occupation forces against discredit. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergili, took part this afternoon through a video conference, an extraordinary summit of the Intergovernmental Authorities on Development, IGAD. This summit is organized following the fighting that broke out in Sudan between the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese Army Forces. Let us listen to the head of the state.
It is indeed with great concern that we are following the unfolding situation in the Sudan, and in particular, the military confrontation that sparked in Khartoum yesterday. The fighting in such a highly populated urban zone can be disastrous in terms of human loss and injuries. The top priority today must be the end of the confrontation and the de-escalation of tension between the leader of the Sudanese National Army and the commander of the Rapid Support Forces. The 5th December framework agreement signed by many stakeholders in the Sudan was indeed a glimpse of hope and was welcomed worldwide. The negotiations process had come a long way, and we, leaders in the region and the world at large, were expecting a breakthrough early April. This signing event of the final agreement paving the way for a peaceful transition of power to the civilian stakeholders was postponed. It is unfortunate that the fragmentation of the civilian stakeholders and political parties create more uncertainty with regard to the future of this brotherly country. For now, we have an emergency situation to deal with. We call upon our brother General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the Sudanese National Army to find a way towards de-escalation and demand the commander of the Rapid Support Forces to stop the fighting. We also urge all leaders in the Sudan to speed up the process of completing the negotiations for the final agreement to be signed sooner than later. Peace and stability in the Sudan have a tremendous effect on all our region, while conflicts and political unrest will certainly cause mayhem and devastation.
In the second part, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Mergili, indicate in his speech that the Sudanese brother people have known in recent years several political crises. It is necessary to bring support and aid to these brother people and bring back peace and stability in Sudan, has harmed the head of state. For more details, let's listen to the head of state once again.
Can no longer afford moving from a crisis to another. The people of this brotherly country deserves to live in peace and nourish the legitimate hope for development and prosperity. Yes, there are daunting challenges to overcome on the economic and political front in the Sudan. We call upon the partners to step up their efforts in providing the economic support needed by this brotherly country. The IGAD member countries will continue to support the political process in the Sudan. Djibouti recognizes that it is up to the Sudanese leaders to find their own way towards political stability. We call upon all parties and leaders who did not join the framework agreement to do so. It is in the best interest of the Sudan and the Sudanese people that political divergences are put aside and the supreme national interest of the country be the only motivation that drives political forces in the country. Nobody wants to see the emergence of a failed country in our region. That's why we leaders in the region express our solidarity with the Sudan. We will make sure that our collective commitments and efforts be oriented towards this noble goal. At this juncture, I would like to make a few proposals. First and foremost, the fighting must stop immediately. The military and paramilitary forces must return to their cantonment. A new date should be set for the signing of the final agreement between the political stakeholders. IGAD should send a high-level mission to Khartoum to assess the overall situation and report back to member countries. To conclude, I would like to urge all stakeholders in the Sudan to do their level best in order to work for the de-escalation and return to the negotiations table. I thank you for your kind attention.
The Minister Delegate in charge of decentralization, Mr. Qasim Haroun, shared this morning at the Ministry training workshop on monitoring methods and tools, but also evaluating development project. This 4 days workshop for the Ministry's personnel aims to prepare trainee that meets the government's requirement through monitoring and evaluating service in order to achieve the goals of decentralization. At the end of the training, participants will be able to improve the planning of their intervention, design, and effectively operates a project monitoring and evaluation system contribute to optimize the performance achieved by their project and program. The minister delegate in charge of decentralization made a speech in which he stressed his presiding over these training courses, which is held for the benefit of the ministry's personnel. The minister also added and highlighted that these international experts specialize in the field of decentralization, activated the workshop which will enable the participants to improve their capability and in the file of monitoring but also evaluating development project effectively, and secondly to contribute to improve the performance of decentralization policy. The Executive Secretariat for Disaster Management concluded a partnership agreement with the National Meteorological Agency at the headquarters of the Executive Secretariat for Disaster Management. The agreement was signed by the Executive Secretary for Disaster Management, Mr. Ahmed Mohamed, and the Director General of the National Meteorological Agency, Mr. Mohamed Ismail Noor. Within the framework of the agreement, the National Meteorological Agency and the Executive Secretariat for the Risk and Disasters Management pledged to cooperate in the file of developing a flood warning system for the population in vulnerable areas developing, but also to supply a new generation of a flood monitoring system managing the telemetry devices and installing additional devices, in addition to conducting a continuous campaign to educate the Djiboutian population and institution about the danger of floods. The Djiboutian Coast Guard jointly organized with the Japanese Coast Guard for 2023 parades transport simulation exercises. The exercises is one of the pillars of cooperation between the two institutions, and this exercise took place in the presence of the Japanese ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Omio Otsuka, and the commander of Djiboutian Coast Guard, Mr. Omar Bokore, the representative of the Japanese Agency for International Development and senior official for the two military institutions. The exercise aims to enhance cooperation between the team of the two institutions in combating maritime piracy. The exercise seeks to reflect effort and enhance the development of operational capability for Djiboutian and Japanese Coast Guard personnel. It should be noted that the Coast Guard they carry out, in addition to other tasks represent in addressing maritime crimes, preventing smuggling activities, and illegal entry to maritime vessels.
Je suis très content d'être ici et parmi vous, de voir l'exercice conjointe avec.
In a speech by the Japanese ambassador in Djibouti, he said that he was very happy to be with the mission and also today on this occasion and join the training between the Djiboutian and Japanese Coast Guard, which is a step that symbolizes the friendship and solidarity relation between the two countries and the two institutions. Today we have an important delegation from the Japanese Coast Guard here in Djibouti, and we take advantage of this opportunity in this training, which is related to combating maritime piracy, he said. In turn, the commander of Djiboutian Coast Guard, Colonel Wais Omar Bokore, indicated that the training aims to achieve maritime piracy, to combat the maritime piracy, said. A news release about we are informing you, our dear users, that the ferry Mohammed Burhan Qasim will carry out on Monday, April 17, at the usual times on ordinary trip to Oboh. The Directorate of Maritime Affairs and the staff of the ferry took this opportunity to wish you, its users, a good end of Ramadan. Within the framework of our daily report, which is present to you during the news shelters today, we have prepared a magazine for you. This report that highlighted the interests of Djiboutian families to buy the Eid clothing for their children's. As the Djiboutian orphans of the last month and the capital has the largest commercial district tonight, the images is impressive. We are at a place Hamoudi Harbi at 10 p.m. Where ranking and human tide is breaking loudly from all sides of the markets in order to hold place rumble, which still remains for the inhabitants of the city and for the regional, for the interior, the reference market. Despite the appearance of other big markets in the region and in the capital, it is the only seasons of the year when all Djiboutians, regardless of their means, really spend lavishly. a strong system has been put in place to ensure the safety of the population, to maintain the security forces and deploy in large numbers of all the arteries of the city of Djibouti, the smooth running and also the traffic which a system became difficult and please safety. The mothers of families accompanied by their children as well as the young people are already beginning to the stores for clothes, jewelries and decoration. During our filming we have able to interview Ms. Khadra. She said, I am the owner of Turkish Shopping and I import my items to Turkey as long it is the Eid. Many people came to buy our items. The atmosphere remains optimal and the images is impressive and unprecedented crowd of people who came to buy Eid clothes, marks and make the city look old. Streets, vendors are even installed in the middles of the road. The observation remains the same in all corners of the major markets. Buyers and sellers discuss the prices of the items. One of that we interviewed said, I offer just left the Wasil stores to buy Eid clothes and it's a perfect time to go shopping to celebrate Eid and have the new clothes for Eid. And I have since there the Eid al-Fitr holiday offers an opportunity for traders of clothing, children's items, cosmetic to catch in more according to the traders, the atmosphere, which is the closer to get Eid, more the markets will be and more will be saturated. Similar to previous year, the Merjog village mosque hosted an collective iftar and also a ceremony for Holy Quran in the Merjog city. To memorize a competition with the mosque management committee has been organized during the holy month of Ramadan under the auspice of parliamentarians Jibril Abdallah. The closing ceremony of honoring the first winners of the competition took place in the presence of the deputy governor of the district in the Merjog, as well as the locales of the neighborhood and the priorities of the children's participating in the competition. During this ceremony, which came at the end of the holy month of Ramadan, the winners of various levels of the Holy Quran memorization competition receive in kind the cash gift. Participating in the closing ceremony of the competition emphasized the importance of pushing young people at an early age to memorize the Holy Quran, and given the ease of memorization at this age and ability to quickly absorb it. In turn, the deputy of the Merjog district said in a short intervention that the effort of those in charge of the Holy Quran memorization competition, which has been held by the supervising committees for many years with the support and sponsorship of parliamentarians, Mr. Jibril Abdallah pointed out that the competition is very popular with the people of the district of the Merjog who competed for the different levels of the year. In each year, end of the month of Ramadan, the prefecture of the Council of Regional Council of Dakhel region organized an evening of religious animation of qasaid offered by the Sheikh Umar Aden and his troop in Dakhel region. The crowd was numerous this evening in front of the esplanade of the prefecture of Dakhel region. This evening took part the yesterday evening took part the prefect of Dakhel region, Mr. Aden Musadrar, and the regional council of Dakhel region, Mr. Mahad Hussein. So the participation of the civil, military, customaries, authorities, the youth and ulamats of the Dakhel region who honor this occasion with their presence. The Qasaid transported the public in a spiritual and festive atmosphere, recalling the values of sharing and solidarity. Ramadan, this holy month of Ramadan advocate the evening of religious entertainment was a real success, a sign of attachment of all the population of Dakhel region to the tradition and culture each year. In Oboh now, a sports complex hosted the last stage of Ramadan tournament, which was held during the holy month. This sports tournament aims to enhance the spirit of friendship, solidarity, and among the region's youth. Many sports competitions were organized, including footballs, basketball, and Pantec. The sport tournament was organized by the regional office of the State Secretariat for Sport in partnership with local association. A number of official figures participated in this event, including the Secretary General of the State for Sport, Ms. Khadija Ibrahim, the Deputy Director General, Mr. Ahmed Ali, and the number of official department of the region of Oboh. The participants express their satisfaction and happiness to participate in this such a sporting event. They also stress the importance of such initiative, which is strengthening social ties and promoting the practice of a sport. It should be also noted that this type of initiative contribute to promote the values of tolerance, respect, and solidarity, which is a necessary value to ensure well-being and social cohesion. Now moving on to the international scenes. Last night and Sunday morning, the occupation forces launches a campaign to arrest targeting young men and children in several neighborhoods of Occupy in Jerusalem amid confrontation with the rebellion youth. Clashes broke out in the vicinity of Al-Aqsa Mosque, during which the occupation soldiers were targeted with youth managed to set a Celtics car on the fire in the neighborhood in the town of Silwan, south of Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.